Boom. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Sunday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. So today we're going to be taking a look at another one from a brewery, in my opinion, that is completely underrated. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on these guys because, I don't know why, but these guys have probably made of some of my favorite stouts of all time, so I'm really excited to try another stout from them, and these guys are Untitled Art. So today we got one of their peanut butter and jelly Imperial stouts this afternoon, and I'm super excited just because the last stout I had from these guys was like I think it was like a fudge brownie stout that was outstanding, absolutely outstanding. The chocolate in it was phenomenal, and these guys really know how to make very unique recipes when it comes to their stouts. So I'm pretty damn excited to try out another variation of them trying to get a very unique recipe going, because it's a peanut butter stout, I'm assuming, but they added a lot of fruit puree in here. They used strawberry, raspberry, black currant, cacao nibs, and milk sugar. And I feel like this is going to be absolutely delicious. I'm hoping the peanut butter in this is very predominant, because sometimes there's a difference with kinds of peanut butter you can put in this. You can use the actual thing out of the jugs, or there's something you can put in a beer. It's like in a powdered form where you can actually use that in there as well. It kind of gives the same kind of thing, and probably easier a little bit to clean up when it comes to coming out of the fermenter and all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty damn excited to try this one out, because any stout I've had from Untitled Art is just awesome. Absolutely awesome. So I'm hoping this kind of leads on to being that good as well, because I love me some nice peanut butter stouts. I would like to see if the jelly kind of component, like of the berries, kind of is a very prominent flavor. I'm hoping it is. But yeah, without further ado, let's crack this guy open and see what this thing's like on the nose, because I'm excited for this one. Definitely getting peanut butter. And I'm definitely getting like almost a tart berry on the nose. But yeah, definitely very peanut butter predominant for sure. It smells absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. It kind of almost smells like a peanut butter and jelly, not gonna lie. Without the bread, who knows, I might get a little bit of a breadiness knowing this is a stout and all the malts they used in there. But yeah, without further ado, let's pour this guy. Drinking out of my untapped tulip glass. And this guy is an 11% ABV, so definitely wouldn't consider this sessionable in any realm. But let's see how this guy pours. Let's see if this thing's any syrupy at all. I'm hoping it's a little bit syrupy, but there's definitely like lighter brown notes coming through from the peanut butter as I'm pouring it, but still as black as my soul. As it pours, there's definitely like almost a reddish kind of hue to it from maybe the puree and the jam they put in there. But look at that. Barely any head, and just a very nice dark, like if you guys can see on there, it's not like as black as you thought it would. There's almost like light browner notes kind of coming through. But yeah, peanut butter is very predominant on the nose still. I'm still getting something different in there when it comes to like maybe the tartness of a berry coming through on the nose that's kind of intermingling with that peanut butter. It smells absolutely delicious. Okay, looking at the top of the glass, I'm wondering if they use chunky peanut butter, because whenever you add peanuts to a beer, like when you're using actual peanuts have their own kind of oil to them. So whenever you see a beer that's using actual peanuts, you'll notice when you pour it that the oils from the peanuts will actually leave a film at the top of the glass. So getting a little bit of a film on the top, so I'm thinking they used like maybe chunky peanut butter just to get that kind of peanutty taste. I'm hoping that's not like burnt peanut kind of taste, but we're about to find out. So let's give this guy a try. So cheers, everybody. Happy Sunday. Wow. Okay, that's definitely very interesting. So right up front, you get like almost a roasted kind of peanut. It's not like a burnt peanut kind of flavor, but it's definitely more of a roasted kind of peanut. Now, I wouldn't consider it like peanut buttery, but it's definitely like a peanut aspect to it. But I'm really surprised that I'm getting that much of like a jamminess. And I shit you not, I'm actually getting like a toast kind of flavor going on this. It's like if you had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on toast, because you're kind of getting that. It's not like a burnt toast kind of thing. It's like a nice crispy golden brown toast kind of flavor that lingers. Definitely has like a mix with like almost a syrupy mouthfeel. Kind of has a little bit of a bubbliness to it. But this is really unique. I'm actually pretty impressed with this one. I'm surprised how much toast I'm getting on the back end, and it's actually pretty damn nice. I'm enjoying this. But it's not overly sweet. There's definitely like a bitterness from the berry purees in there. So it's kind of helping kind of balance it out. It's not, like I said, not too sweet at all, which is very nice, but it's not too peanut buttery as well. Yeah, this one, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy because I'm getting the tartness of the raspberry and the black currant coming through, but that's really like the only aspect of like knowing what's in there, just because like it's a berry tartness, but it's not like a hoppy tartness at all. But overall, yeah, that's definitely one of the most unique peanut butter and jelly beers I think I've ever had, just because of that aspect of toast flavor in there. It's pretty damn nice. I'm really, really surprised on what this flavor is like. So let's start going through here on Untapped. And of course, if you can't get your hands on anything from Untitled Art, Untapped is a really cool thing to where they show similar beers to this one that might be able to kind of replicate what you're feeling on this. And they got a few of them here. So let's look here. So we got one from Pure Project Brewing called Eternal Forever, which is Imperial Stout. It's their 6th anniversary. It's, let's see, a bourbon barrel-aged stout. I wouldn't really consider this similar just because that one's going to be a little bit more of a boozy kind of experience. Not really getting any booziness out of this one. Of course, they use Thai bananas and all this kind of stuff and cacao nibs, so it's definitely going to be more of that like banana flavor, so not really going to expect that one to taste similar to this one. And then we got one from Dew Claw Brewing Company called the Patriarchy Naked Fish, which is their 25th anniversary edition. Which, let's see what this one's all about. So let's see, it's coffee, raspberries, and chocolate. Wouldn't consider that one really similar at all, just because you're going to get coffee notes out of this one. Not really getting any coffee out of this at all. And let's see, we got one from Hinterland's Brewery called the Bourbon Barrel Lunatic, which is, they are using cocoa malt, when the bourbon barrel aged and rye whiskey, so that's gonna be more of a boozy coffee stout. So not really getting much of the beers on here that are gonna give similar profiles. And we got one here from Untitled Art, which I'm not really gonna read off. They collabed with Hubbard's Cave, which is their Black Forest Cake Smoothie Stout. Not really gonna list that one because if you can't get your hands on this one from Untitled Art, why list Entitled Art that you're gonna have a similar kind of profile to when you can't get it anyway. So, and the last one we got here is from Tapestry Brewing, which is the Cocoa Java Stout, which is a Belgian chocolate Water Street cold brew coffee stout, which wouldn't really consider this similar at all, just because a lot of these ones are intermingling flavors of coffee, dark chocolate, and bourbon barrel aging, which I don't really taste any bourbon barrel aging booziness to this whatsoever, so I wouldn't really consider any of these from the Untapped similar beers list to be even close to any of these this one's, because the peanut butter, it's like a roasted peanut flavor. You're getting the tartness of the berries, which none of these stouts list. I mean, some of them listed berry notes, so where maybe the Dew Claw would give you kind of notes of the raspberry in there, but it's not going to give you that peanut butter aspect. You're going to be getting more of like a dark chocolate and coffee kind of flavor. So if I had to choose anything from the similar beers list, the only reason I would choose it because it has berries in it would be the Dew Claw Patriarchy, the Naked Fish. Just because there's raspberries in that one, you might get similar berry notes of like a berry tartness in that, but that one's going to be a little bit more boozier, along with kind of adding like dark chocolate notes in that one as well. So you're not going to get complete similar experience as this, but you'll kind of have an idea of what it tastes like when there's berries inside of a stout. So I'm going to go with this one from Dew Claw. So let's see here. Let's see if anybody of my friends has checked this one. I think only my dad did. He gave it a 3.75. He checked this one in back in September. And looking here at the description of this one, Untapped pretty much is usually really good with their description when it comes to a lot of beers. Like I said, it's 11%, and it says, Imperial Stout brewed with real peanut butter, like a lot of real peanut butter. When a blend of strawberry, raspberry, and blackcurrant purees get to the jam-like flavor just right, and in a little bit of milk sugar and extra sweetness. So yeah, they talk about there being a little extra sweetness. I like that the sweetness is there. You're definitely getting a sweetness from the berries and the peanut butter, but it's not predominant. It's not something that lingers on the mouth for me. It's definitely like you taste like the jammy, like almost bitter berry kind of flavor, but then this like nice golden brown toast kind of thing to where it's like a peanut butter and jelly on toast kind of flavor. That is what's really kind of making this one stand out to me, because that one's really hard to do, because if you do something like that, sometimes with peanuts you might get a burnt peanut kind of flavor, sometimes you might get a burnt toast kind of flavor. This one is having that really, really well balance of just getting those flavors that they're trying to get in there and making them perfect, which I think they did a really, really good job on this one. This is another stout that's on the list of, if you want to try a unique beer, this peanut butter jelly stout from Untitled Art is definitely something that's going to be out of your wheelhouse from your normal kind of peanut butter and jelly stout. So I definitely would recommend for any of my stout lover friends out there just to give this one a try, because it's very, very unique. I'm still blown away by that kind of toast flavor I get at the end. That's just something I didn't expect. I was just expecting a nice kind of peanut butter flavor with like a maybe berry jammy elements to it. But you're getting the whole full-on experience of like a toasted peanut butter and jelly sandwich with this one. So let's look back here. Like I said before, it's 11% ABV, and with over 4,265 ratings, this one has an average rating of 3.78 out of 5 on Untappd, which is pretty damn good. I'm surprised this one isn't rated above a 4, just because a lot of Untitled Art stouts have that higher rating of almost having that like 4 to port like 0.425 rating on there. But this one's on that kind of lower scale of what you usually see. But I think this is an absolutely fantastic stout. So let's look here and see whether people rated this one. This guy gave it a 1.75. Let's see, we got a 4. We got a 3.75 here. We got a 4.5. We got a 3.5. This guy gave it a 3.5, saying way too sweet, like a teaspoon of peanut butter added in an entire jar of jelly, and call it a beer. I wouldn't say it's too sweet. In my opinion, it's not sweet at all. And then let's see, this guy gave it a half out of 5, saying gross. He purchased this at Duneside Liquors, which, hey, if this guy doesn't like it, he may not be a fan. That's just his prerogative. But I'm actually really enjoying this one. Let's see, this guy gave it a 3.75, purchased at the HEB Curbside Pickup Grocery and Delivery. So this guy can get it at the HEB in San Antonio, Texas. Let's see, the Duneside Liquors location was in Portage, Indiana. Okay, so we're finding distribution in Texas, Indiana. So let's see what else we got here. This guy gave it a 3.5, and he thought it would have more of an Imperial style punch. It's pretty good, but a bit much with the fruit. Probably can drink a few before switching over to something else. Definitely hyped myself up too much for this. And so he was thinking it was going to be more of like that Imperial boozy kind of stout flavor. But I guess he didn't get that. And this was purchased at the Central Market in Dallas, Texas. So, okay, now that we saw a few ratings on this one, let's start figuring out what we're going to be doing on our end. Because knowing that you can get distribution down in Texas, you can get it in Indiana, of course. Since they're from Wisconsin, you can get Untitled Art in Wisconsin. Of course, I see them all the time down here in Illinois. So let's see what we're going to be doing for ratings on our end here, because this is definitely going to be a good one for ratings for me. It's just, I guess some of these people just didn't expect what they were going to get out of this one. So let's look at can art. Untitled Art does usually like a really, really unique style of can art, of course. They kind of have like their unique style to where they just do like the block on the top. I know it's whitewashed on the camera, but that's where they usually put like their Untitled Art. And then in the center with the line, they usually tell you the type of beer it is. So it's the peanut butter jelly Imperial Stout. And it's definitely one of those labels to where it's like a heat shrink kind of label around the can. So this one kind of sucks with that aspect, to where if you wanted to save labels, if you're somebody who collects beer can labels, this one would be a little bit difficult to get just because it's heat shrinked around the can and it kind of goes up to the corners a bit too. But the art on here, when it comes to what they do, when it comes to like, okay, you know the profile of the beer, they kind of pick like a very, very abstract kind of artwork to it. When it comes to specific artists, they kind of do stuff with. And they take the colors that you would expect from this kind of style of beer. So it's like a peanut butter and jelly. You expect browns, purples, reds, pinks, all the kind of stuff. Even like light browns a little bit to imitate maybe like bread and toast and all that kind of stuff. And they did exactly that on here. So a bunch of abstract colors where you see like dark purples, like almost a brown, light brown, red, pinks, all that kind of stuff. And it's usually something that you would see, the art you would see at like an art show or something like that. So the artist here was Stephanie Hammond. And so yeah, it's really, really nice. It's definitely clean, classy, which is usually how Untitled Art does a lot of their can arts, which I can appreciate. Just because they use a lot of colors and they take advantage of all of the real estate they have on the can. It's definitely something that catches my attention if I would see it at a liquor store or a bottle shop, just for sure, just because the colors stand out. It's definitely a unique kind of can art itself. So yeah, very, very nice. I'm going to give this a 4.75 out of 5 for can art for me. Just because I love the colors. I love the abstract kind of look to it. It's always really, really clean and classy. So, let's see. If I got this beer in a flight at Untitled Art right now, would I get another one? Even though I know this one isn't available, I believe the one stout that they have available at the tap room right now, let's see what it is. I think it's like a pancake one, if I remember correctly. So they have some seltzers available. They have an oat cream IPA. And then, let's see, a nice West Coast IPA. But the one they have available for a stout right now is the black and blue chocolate chip pancake stout. So that sounds absolutely delicious. But if I got this one in a flight, would I get another one? Most likely. I really, really do enjoy like how it's not too sweet. I really enjoy the almost more peanut kind of flavored in the peanut butter. Definitely kind of reminds me more of a chunky peanut butter, but that like jammy like tart berry, like you get the blackcurrant, you get the raspberry in there. It's really, really well balanced. But the main focal point that I want to talk about in this one that is done absolutely fantastic is that kind of golden toast kind of flavor you get at the end, where it's like it literally is imitating that you ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on perfectly frickin' toasted bread. So I think that kind of how they did that with that recipe is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It just well rounds the entire beer all over. When it's really hard to fault a lot of this stuff from beer, even though I would have liked maybe a little bit more of a creamier kind of mouthfeel, maybe a little bit more of the peanut butter, but I feel like that would have taken away the aspects of the tart berries in there as well. So it's really well balanced and absolutely fantastically done. So good job over at Untitled Art with this one. This is definitely up there with one of the most unique stouts I've ever had, for sure. So with my final rating, this would be a tough one. I'm going to give this one a solid 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 is where I'm going to leave this one. Very, very good. If you can get your hands on this one, you're looking for a very, very unique like drinking experience when it comes to an Imperial Stout, you might give this one a pretty decent rating. I think it's like this is definitely going to be one of those beers to where you either like it or you don't. Just because if you're looking for more of that Imperial Stout flavor, you're not really going to get that. You're not really going to get a lot of booziness. You're definitely going to get more predominant like tart berries in this one than you would the peanut butter. But I want to see if anybody else tastes that like kind of that toasted bread kind of flavor at the end that makes it that imitating flavor of a toasted peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I think that's what's the most extraordinary thing about this beer. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10 is where I'm going to leave this one. Absolutely delicious. And other than that, let's see. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me, guys. If you want to get your hands on anything from Untitled Art, they distribute all around the country. Of course, you heard me talk about how they distribute in the Midwest when it comes to Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, all that kind of stuff. And then they get themselves over down to Texas, so you may be able to find some stuff from them if you're down in Texas. Maybe in the sister states around there, like Louisiana, you may be able to find some Untitled Art around there. But, of course, if you can't find them in your area, Tavour is always a good option. I know Tavour does a decent amount of drops from Untitled Art, so you may be able to get your hands on stuff from there. Of course, you guys know my little spiel with Tavour. It may be a little bit difficult to get them to ship to you just because if you live in like a rural area, they take advantage of local carrier services. So if you're in like a more populated like big city area, you may be in the opportunity to get yourself an order from Tavour. So my biggest recommendation, go down to my description below, the link to the website. The website will link you right to the app store where you can download the app. And when you're creating your account, you can put right there, they'll make you put in your zip code, and they'll let you know right away if you can ship stuff over to you. So Tavour is a really, really great platform. They have so many different varieties of beers, so I can't really fault anything that Tavour does just because they're a fantastic service. And last but not least, if you're looking for a social media aspect when it comes to beer drinking where you can check in beers, get badges, and if you're a craft beer lover, you need to get yourself over to Untappd. It's just a really, really fun platform. You can see people like me. Of course, my dad's in chat right now. He's on there. You know, Kentucky, Kevin, Dutch is on there, Ian's on there. There's so many people on Untappd just checking in beers, having a good time. And you can see what's popular in your area, so you can see what beers are trending in your area, what's trending globally. It's just a really, really fun platform. It's available on Android or iPhone. And if you haven't been on there yet, and if you're a craft beer lover, you need to get yourself over there. So, other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you again, everybody in chat, for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. It helped me out a lot. Also, thank you to the people watching the replay. You guys are awesome as well. I know a lot of my views come on the replay, so big shout outs to you guys. And I'm going to end it like I always end it before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.